What's going on, guys? It's me, Shukashu. We are back with another Musume video. This video, we are going to be going over the new June Bride banner that was released not so long ago as I'm recording this video. And it considered, and it has both Measure Ramino and Cesario as the two Umas in the banner. For the support banner, we do have a Speed Minecraft and a Wise Daring Tack. I'm still here like Daring Tact or Daring Heart. Which one was it again? Actually, I think it is Daring Heart. Yeah, it is Daring Heart. Yeah, so Daring Heart, Wise card, and then after that we'll go over the current event, the new June Bride event, and we'll go over the comments, just your typical banner overview video, going over the banner, going over the event if there is an event with it, and then go over the comments. So before we do jump into the banner and the event, if you guys haven't joined the Discord server, link is down in the description down below. There's a channel called Circle Request for those who haven't joined a circle or are looking for a circle to join. Y'all are free to join the circle that I'm in. It is called Shushu. Once you give that a search, hit request join. It'll let me know that you want to join a circle. And then after that, head over to the comment section or to the circle request channel in the Discord server. Let me know that you sent the request along with your in-game name, just so I can make sure to add you into the circle and not somebody else. But with that being said, let's go take a look at Measure Ramino and Cesario. First one we'll be going over is Measure Ramino. Now, I guess you could say pretty much just like Nova, because I don't really have anything much to say about Cesario. I never, but I wouldn't mind pulling for Ramino, but just like Nova said about what happened with the Festival Teo with Princess Kawakami. But if I was in Nova's shoes, I'd probably still pull, only because of the amount of Carajoules I have if I was Nova. But that's an if. That is an if. I'm not too completely sure if I would. But here we are, Measure Ramino at level 1 3-star, 91 speed, 79 stamina, 99 power, 94 guts, and 87 wise. One at level 5 5-star, 112 speed, 96 stamina, 121 power, 115 guts, and 106 wise. For her aptitudes, A on turf, so more of a turf runner, obviously. But she does have an F in dirt if you want to take your chances. For her distances, pretty much all around if you're willing to train her for long distance, but mainly short distance to medium distance, I would say. If you want to use her for short distance, then obviously you have a better chance to train her easily compared to the long distance one. And as for her position, obviously she's a leader, but you can use her as a betweener if you want. As for her growth rate, we have 15% on power, 5% on guts, and 10% on wise. And now, starting off with the skills, we have the unique skill. It would click it. An unbreakable knot. If you are in front with 300 meters remaining, your speed will increase. When you activate the skill, if you are in the lead or within 2 meters of the lead, your speed will increase dramatically for leaders. So if you're in front with 300 meters remaining, your speed will increase. If the skill is activated and you are in the lead or within 2 meters of the lead, your speed will increase dramatically. So basically, just a big speed boost as we head towards close to the finish line and have to be within a meter or two, or at least 2 meters, or in the lead to get that that dramatic increase in speed. I guess you could say it kind of reminds me of Cap with like the 200 meters one, the original Cap. Let me take a look at it real quick. Yeah, be close to the lead during the last 200 meters to make it easier to break through and find a way through the field. Well, it's speed skill, so I just assume it just increases speed without them saying they'll increase speed. But moving on to the other skills, the innate skills, we have proactive measures. When in the middle of the race approaches, if you are in the front, your speed will increase slightly for mile distance. And then we have offensive stance for speed. Speed increases slightly in the middle of the race for leaders. And then we have believe in yourself. During the final sprint, speed increases slightly for leaders. And then going over the awakening skills, awakening skill level 1. We have aggressive in the middle of the race. Use some stamina to increase speed by a little for leaders. And then we have for level 3, the first one was level 2. Level 3 is this one, if I'm not mistaken. Unstoppable. Speed increases in the middle of the race for leaders. And then level 4, head-on battle. If you are in the front towards the end of the race, your acceleration will increase slightly. And then ruler of miles. When the middle of the race approaches, being in front increases your speed for mile distance. And then, although I'll be honest, for the awakening, no, not awakening, evolution skills, I'm trying to find the conditions, but as of right now, I don't see it under the evolution skill. So I'm not too sure. I am not too sure. But let me see. Yeah, as of right now, I actually don't know what are the conditions, to be quite honest. And even if I were to look at this straight up, I wouldn't exactly know. Especially the first one, the first condition. The second one, it seems like you need to get at least 800 power. So yeah, the first one seems like either trigger the something roommate event or have 3 leader skills, if I'm assuming correctly. But the skill is unstoppable going into limitless loves. Speed increases dramatically in the middle of the race for leaders. And like I said, for the conditions, condition 1 seems like trigger the something that involves a roommate event or get at least 3 leader skills. For condition 2, I think it get 800 power, at least, at the very least. And then for the next one, Master of the Mile or Ruler of Miles, into Feast Conquer. Well, this one turns into Mile Medium. Interesting. Interesting. So this one seems like, well, condition one. What is condition one? When it's either, I don't know. I think it's to have at least either to win 2-mile races or 2 medium distance races, or have at least 2-mile or 2 medium distance skills. Either or. I'm gonna assume it's a skills one and not the race one. And then the second condition is have at least 800 Ys. And that is the best I got for their evolution skills when it comes down to their conditions. But the Feast Conqueror does, when the middle of the race approaches, if you are in the front, your speed will increase for a while, for mile medium distance. And with that being said, that is pretty much it for Measure Ramino. Now we'll be going over Cesario, the June Bride Cesario. And actually, give me a sec real quick. And at level 1, 3-star, 90 speed, 92 stamina, 99 power, 85 guts, and 84 Ys. At level 5, 5-star, 110 speed, 112 stamina, 122 power, 104 guts, and 102 Ys. For her aptitudes, turf runner, distance, mile medium, position, I believe leader as well, if not between. No, betweener. I remember she's a betweener. Is she a betweener? Is she a leader? No, she's a leader. But you can use her as a betweener. And then for her growth rates, 10% power and 20% guts. Now going over her skills, starting with the unique skill, we have a time-consuming babble. Speed increases dramatically for a short period during the final sprint, which is more effective in medium distance races for leaders. For her innate skills, we have sure footing, which I believe is this one, for leader medium distance. When the end of the race approaches, if you are in the lead or within 4 lengths of the lead, your speed and acceleration will increase slightly. Next one is, where is it? Unwavering belief. When the end of the race is approaching, being in front will increase your speed slightly. And then we have believe in yourself. Once again, they both have it. During the final sprint, speed increase slightly. Now going over her awakening skills at level 2. We have to even greater heights. If you are in the front of the middle race, if you're in the front in the middle of the race, your speed will increase slightly. Level 3, we have rapid advance. When the end of the race approaches, if you are in the lead or within 4 lengths of the lead, your speed and acceleration will increase slightly. That was for level 3, and it's for leader medium distance. Level 4, we have all I can. If you are in a good position in the final straight at the end of the race, your speed will increase slightly. And then for level 5, we have follow through on your original intention. If you are in the front at the end of the race, as the end of the race approaches, your speed will increase for medium distance. So what I realized here, even though you can use Cesario for mile distance, my assumption was that she was more focused on mile distance. But that assumption is wrong going over her skills, because there's medium distance. So, from what it seems like, if you want to use one of these two for the, I guess, upcoming Seum, it would be Cesario. Only because she has more, it seems like she is more intended for medium distance compared to Ramino, where it feels like she's more towards mild distance, at least based off the skills. Actually, let me take a look at Ramino again just to double check. Because I feel like most of her skills were at leader rather than mile. Let me double check that real quick. Oh, she has a mile distance here. Obviously, ruler of miles, but the evolution skill turns into a mile medium. So that works. And then her other one, Limitless Love, still stays as the leader. So, technically speaking, you can use both. You can use both because her gold skill turns into mile medium instead of just mile. So technically, not technically, you can use both of them. I guess because Ramino is kind of more neutral between the two distances, but I would give a slight edge towards mile just because of that one skill. But moving on to the evolution skills, and just like the the Ramino one, I won't be able to give a accurate condition. Okay, so maybe that 2 mile, 2 medium, or 2 medium was the skills, because this one has actually, because I was waiting, like, there's no G1 here. But this one seems like for the condition is to, or for who can interrupt our glorious journey. Seems like the condition is, I guess, as a leader, win 4 G1 races. But as for the second one, this one, I actually don't know. So I do apologize for that one. But the skill, as the end of the race approaches, speed and acceleration increases slightly for leader, medium distance. As for the second one, from carrying out or follow through on your original intention, we have Shido Tai's Promise for medium distance. Condition or speed increases dramatically as the end of the race approaches for medium distance. Condition 1 seems like you gotta trigger an event. And also win 2 medium distance races, or no. Have 2 medium distance skills at least. And then the second condition, have at least 800 power and 600 guts, if I'm not mistaken. And that is pretty much it on the banners. Honestly, you can use both for medium distance, but I think for Cesario, she's best just for medium distance if you want the best out of her. Unless you have like some really good mile support cards, then you can use her while also using her for mile distance if you have mile support cards or leader support cards. I guess between the both, obviously my pick would be Ramino. And yes, I'll just use these 2 tickets just for fun. Just to see if anything will happen. And then we'll take a quick look at the support cards. And there we go. Just a quick look. We don't need to go in depth. And then I just need to see quick sec. I'm just trying to look for things. So yeah, as predicted, mile distance. Mile distance. Is that groundwork? I think that's groundwork. Mile short. Mile. Escape leader. Mile. Yeah. So mainly a speed, mile distance. Speed, mile distance card, and then Daring Heart, mile distance. it was painfully obvious when I looked at her other card, and it was mile distance as well. So, as predicted, both cards support mile distance. So unless you guys want to pull for a speed and mile distance support, which honestly, having both of them out at the same time might not be a bad idea if you really want a speed and wise card for mile distance focus Umas, then I guess this wouldn't be a bad choice, because obviously should have 2 gold skills, so definitely think it'd be good if you want to go for mile distance. Other than that, let me see. I need to go look for the event, because I also need to take a look at the Air Messiah card real quick. I just want to see it real quick. It doesn't really matter too much, but I'm looking for... What I'm looking for is... the... missions, but... honestly, I don't know, or at least as of right now, it's hasn't been shown. But I know it's like you're pretty much the usual with, like, as long as you pretty much train enough to get the amount of races, which is 60 races, win 40 G1 races, what is accumulate a whole total of 2 million fans, I believe. I believe this is like 40 times, or no, yeah, 40 times in the PvP, gain a total of 3 million fans or points in the PvP. And then these ones are get 3rd places in these specific races. I can't necessarily read them, but if you guys didn't know, when you're training, you could pretty much see which races are under like a mission and all that. So just check that out and beat the race, just so you can get these missions out of the way. As for the Air Messiah Wise card, although it is an event card, it is still usable if it's all you have. That's the best I can say, is because that's what I did. It's because it's what I did. Betweener, I guess it's just a Betweener Wise card, if anything. Obviously the event cards don't. Usually free cards don't stand up to the limited cards. Just in case I had to say that. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it for the main portion of the video. Even though it seems a little weird that some parts may seem a little shorter, as with me going over or not, but like the missions and all that, it's just simply because I don't have it in front of me, to be quite honest. So I just went with the best I can. For the most part, I did say most of the limited missions, but the races, yeah, So I guess, oh yeah, if you guys do, which you guys should pretty much get it without even thinking, just get 400k points to get one copy. Finish the 8 stories, get another copy. The other 3, you get it off the roulette. So that's pretty much it for the main portion of the video. I don't think there's anything else to talk about. But let me take a quick look at this, because I don't think I beat it. Yeah, I didn't touch it at all. But I still have pretty much a month to finish it, so I don't know. Ends on the 26th. New scenario should be before that. And then I'm assuming maybe this is also around the time of the CM. I'll probably just get this done at my own time, if anything. But with that being said, from this point on, I'll just be going over comments. So for those who wants to stick around and listen to the comments, feel free to do so. If not, appreciate you guys for staying this far into the video. And if you guys do want me to go over your comments in the future, just leave it down in the comment section down below, and I'll try to for sure make sure I go over it in the next video. If not the next video, then the next video. But with that being said, there is a good chunk of comments, but I'm gonna try to not linger over some comments too long, just so I can go through the comments a little bit faster. But the first comment, obviously, the batch of comments we'll be going over is gonna be from Nova. And the first one says, sitting on the toilet watching so Eugen won't steal first. Well, the most I'll say is I appreciate it, because it's just funny in total, just the comment, like in general, the comment. It's just funny how you would go watch as far as even watching on the toilet, just so Eugen won't steal the first comment. That's hilarious. Next comment says, neverness to everness to brainless. I mean, the more if I say that name or title multiple times, I'll probably turn brainless. You did lose your Atelier game, so that's kind of like a replacement. See, kinda, yeah. It's hard for me to replace Atelier with Ethereal Restart, whatever it's called. I think that's what it's called. Only because one seems like one obviously was more story focused, which I loved. As Atelier as a series, I did like. Although I didn't play all of the Atelier games. The characters, love them. Obviously, Ryza, and also the new ones, Valeria. What was her name? It's been like half a year since I played. Already forgot. Resna, there's her name. That's her name. Resna Valeria, which is pretty much, if you guys didn't pick up after all the times I mentioned, the name was Atelier Resla Rihanna, which is basically a combination of their name. If just to, it was part of the story. It was part of the story, actually, like what they were gonna call it, the Atelier. Yeah, I don't know if it'll replace it completely, only because I did really like Atelier, so it would have to be on par to at least kind of equally replace it. But to Shushu and I, we just go per factors with these sad runs. Can't be like Eugen. Tanoki responded saying, vast majority of the benefit of knowing how to factor is just identifying good parents to rent. 4 out of the 6 parents are rented, 3 rented from the rented side, plus 1 rented on our own side. If it only takes less than a minute to filter for a half-decent parent, maybe less than 5 to be a little picky. No, when I generally look at parents, I try to, like, if I want to be less picky, I just see how many factors they have, how many white factors, generally. And if the red or pink, whatever you want to call them, match the, was it red or pink? If I'm looking for distance inheritance, then obviously I want to see the best options I can get for that. But for the most part, to keep it simple, I usually just pick the one with the most factors. Also considering the Uma that I'm training. So I try to think about their unique. Other than that, if the Uma doesn't match unique wise to like the position of the Uma I'm training, that's the most likely, then I just didn't find an Uma that could. At least most likely as a rental and possibly as my own parent. Only because I may or may not have a decent parent for that Uma at the moment. But yeah, moving on. Can't pass the UC4 to UC6 range. I'm getting tilted. I'm just gonna focus on getting the Legends race done then. I don't know if Nova was here or remembers, but around the time when I had this realization of the recent scenarios since starting with Great Food Festival, is I feel like they, from scenario to scenario, they held back on like the improvement of the stats. It seems like, or I don't know what they did with their stats and all that, because it feels like since Great Food Festival we've been slowly progressing, like half-wise. Like right now, what Tanoki says, based on League of Heroes top performances, are UC4. And he says mine is blown. So if the average of the top of League of Heroes performers are UC4, which even in the previous 2 CMs, I believe it was mid-C UCs as well, from what Tanoki said. So if I was able to reach a UC in the previous scenario, and then what was my highest? I think it was a pretty decently high one for the long distance CM. It was like a UC6, I think. Yeah, UC6 with Orfurv. That means I just peaked at that moment. I literally peaked with Orfurv at that moment. For what it seems like. If UC4, UC6, seeing that it's still the same scenario, I may have just peaked for the scenario with that Orfurv for some odd reason. So yeah, I feel like the next scenario might be the UB expectation. And then we'll go like halfway through UB, or maybe I don't know, maybe halfway through UB, and then like low C, low UA. I don't know how it's gonna go, but I feel like they tweaked it a bit to where we're not every scenario we're going like UB, then we're gonna go UA next because we can reach UB. At least that's how it feels like to me right now, or has been. But I did the medium master race, and that was funny since it's just Rexina and Donna match. My Vivos isn't strong enough to beat them, so I had to bring out the Donna to beat every stage. Anoki says, Donna to beat medium master's challenge is mandatory. True story. And Nova says, imagine those who do not have Donna for some reason. Kind of makes me wonder. Kind of makes me want to try to beat it without Donna. Just because. Just because. I just want to see. Power can get to stamina or power can get stamina till 1200, but guts will require some luck though. You would have to have both inheritance and some rainbow training. The last year's stat boost is enough to push you to 1200 if you get guts into the thousands. I believe so, because I think I was able to get guts to 1200 with someone. Was it this one? But I had what card did I have? This was my UD9. I was using this setup. I can't believe this is my best Uma that I brought into the League of Heroes with. You could tell I was experimenting just to see what would happen if I use these cards. And this wasn't even like the best parent options I had. Also, I swapped these towards the end. Anyways, yeah, if I would have been able to if I had a little bit more rainbow training. And wise, I don't know why they make it, but it is what it is. Yeah, I'm aware you can get guts or stats at 1200 as long as you reach it somewhere in the thousands. If you're, I don't know what exactly where. I think you need at least like 1060. I'm not too sure. I don't remember the amount. I don't remember the amount of stats. I think you get like 75, then 45, and then like 15 or something like that. I'm not too sure. The amount of triple speed builds and 2 speed 2 int builds in League of Heroes leaderboard is insane. Usually paired with 1 stamina, but as shown in Discord, there was that 1200 stamina, 1200 guts with 2 speed, 1 power, 2 int. I think that person just got... That guy was probably cooking something that we don't know. Today's word of the day, mandatory. Brent is good for Chun-Li, so that's a plus or a thumbs up. But well, what did you say in that comment? Where is it? But is Brent mandatory and hot? Based on your comment that you said. That's the real question. Not Brent is good for Chun-Li, but based on your original claim that you feel like you're gonna pull for everyone in 2.0 or the 2 updates because they're mandatory and hot. It's funny with Brent being the only male so far. But brand new Kita card in 4 years of Uma history. I mean, they can release a new Kita card. It just probably won't be speed. Probably. Was there any other Kita cards besides her speed one? Was there a stamina one? I don't know. I'm not too sure. Not too sure, actually. She had a guts card? Oh, I think this was from the Blu-ray, though. Yeah, this looks like from the Blu-ray. Yeah, Kita had never gotten a card since then, while some Umas has gotten multiple either event or multiple limited support cards releases. Next comment says, but nobody can make videos like you do, Shoo Shoo. For talking about Uma, I don't know. I'll be honest, haven't seen other Uma content like this gameplay or banner content at all. Probably the last time I went to go look was like almost 2 years ago, if not 2 years. I'm thinking I should ask Nokia for the mandatory Umas after every CM announcement. I still have not obtained all the teachings of the mandatory sensei. Tanoki says all Uma can be made. You're just not mandatory enough. That's pretty much the same. So basically, what Tanoki's saying, the Umas don't matter. It's your support cards. I'm assuming that's what he meant by mandatory. His support card, I'm assuming is you would really have to pop off with your support cards, and then you'll be pretty much good after that. If you're not going to look towards factors and parents and all that, just do the simple way. Use what I have in the beginning. Oh god, the Vietnam flashbacks is real. Year 1 is just a different Uma game altogether. It really is. If you're talking about the big differences when it comes back to quality of life. Scenario 1 to like the most, or the real finals compared to the recent scenario and all that. And then Nova says, I'm renting cards after consulting with Noki. Otherwise, I honestly just rent the best cards for each position. And the reason why I say that is because Tanoki says, you mean mandatory card for each position. And then who the F is Cesario? Or Cesario? I swear I don't even remember these Umas. Like maybe this is the effect of Uma inflation. It's easier for me to name all 50 states and all Umas with their variants. Well, Cesario, from the most part, what I remembered is just basically special weeks kid. That's all I can say from what I remember. I guess pivoting to support card just made me appreciate Uma more. Before this, I was like, shoo, Uma over cards. Over time, I just realized that there was no need to pull for every Uma. Got a point there. There is really no point for every Uma. Just pull pretty much the ones you like, but also, I guess, ones that you may need for certain races if you don't have those filled out. Speed Dream Journey A. If I was a chaser focus, I'd gone for it. So I only used 3 chasers, Dura or Ferv, Wedding Amazon. I chose Between or Focus instead. Now I need to get Simply Crisp power card to MLB. Tanoki says if chaser main, speed Dream is mandatory. I'm still saddened by the Bride Ramano, and the more I look at it, the more I'm disappointed. If they get a similar design to Wedding Curran, then I'd be very happy, but yeah, bad. Honestly, didn't they? Hold on. Kind of curious. What was last year? Last year was King Halo and Sweep Tosho. The previous year was Nishino Flower and Hishi Amazon. I don't know if they would have ever done a. No, they have, right? Have they? They did with the Christmas one. I don't know. I don't know. I would just say that's just by choice. I can always try again next League of Heroes. I'm locking in with 5 runs per day. With League of Heroes only, or you're locking in 5 runs per day? Starting now. I have 2 max spawn, which is Vivlos and Duramente, which is funny because those are more of the more recent ones. At least within a year. Year and a half, at least. Or not a year and a half. Like a year and a few months. When Tanoki says, that was the big revelation for me. Even though a whole bunch of people played longer and more than me, they had maybe 5 to 7 max bond. I have 13 max bonds. I think is the keyword. Keywords. It has a lot to do with the beginning. I think for me also, I think this might also work with Nova since he says we both prioritize Umas for over support cards in the beginning. Is that maybe because we had so many Umas from earlier that it just hindered obviously the bonds with all the other Umas. So that's why a lot of them just seem to be like around 7, 8, around those. It's probably because it's just because of that. Obviously, Cap, Teo, and Kita would be the ones to be at 12 or closest to being at 12 because those literally my top 3. Literally my top 3. And then Sakura Bakushino made sense to be at 10 because I've been training her for short distance since the beginning. So yeah, it made perfect sense. Why is Haru at 9? Is it a secret Uma mistress for Shushu? I think the reasoning is if I don't know if support cards, if you use them as support cards, they increase bond. But the only reason I could think of her being 9 is for some odd reason somewhere in the beginning of the first year, I was just training her, just trying to train a really good Haru, probably. Or maybe I was trying to get her done for the PvP. I don't know. I don't know really, because there was barely, I say barely, but it was probably like just enough to make the PvP team. But other than that, I don't know why. I don't know why. But that is also the last comment from Nova. So thank you, Nova, for the comments. Appreciate it as always. Next comment, maybe comments, is going to be from Rick. And the first one says, I guess we don't get more tickets. I managed to get Plat 3, so it was pretty good for me. Then Tanoki says, Rick already Plat 3 Pog. They grow up so fast. If we were talking about this in early Uma days, we probably wouldn't be talking about the League of Heroes. Then Rick says, now that I think about it, I think this is the first time I reached Plat 3. Pretty good for me, I think. No, I'd say it is pretty good, because obviously you're just pretty much where most of us are, if not all of us are at Plat 3, Plat 4 range, so you're doing fine. You're doing just fine. I think there's another comment from Rick. There is. And this one says, my top 3, which are like a 10 out of 10 for me, are Gold Chip, Rice Shower, and a Guri Cap, in that order. So Gold Chip is number 1 for me. It's just that with Cinderella Gray airing, I've been talking a lot about her lately. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought when I said yesterday, probably because the anime is going on. That's the reason why. Nova says, Gold Chip OVA would make you go wild. Then Rick says, yeah, but I would love more a full season. Then Nova says, Vivlo's season when? She has less screen time than Gold Chip. Then Rick says, I don't mind Rudolph, but seeing the new Donna Versina or for rivalry, there's a good chance we get to see that. I mean, Donna's just too popular for their own good. It's funny how you didn't mention Gold Chip in that mix because who was Gold Chip referring to? Although, like, you know. So technically, if you get Donna, you would still technically get Gold Chip. But if we're talking about who would they feature more, I think they would, if they want to go to Team Speaker theme, then they would go Gold Chip. I think they would choose Gold Chip too. Only because she has already a presence in the anime. And to get more of her perspective, it would probably make more sense than to go from a Donna perspective. Only because there's a TeamSpeak member involved. If there wasn't, then I would say Donna. And then Noah says, I want Donna swimsuit. Rick says, I would dump all my gems to get her, or at least until I pull her. Then Eugen says, at the start of Uma, I went for rice shower. Then Mihono came. It's funny because that's like literally the beginning. Rice shower as the standard. And then Mihono came out. It's kind of funny. But other than that, that is pretty much it for all the comments from Rick. Appreciate it as always. And also Nova and Eugen for replying back. The next comment is gonna be from Eugen. Yes. And the first one says, oh no, I'm just having my lunch now. Nova upped me in the comments. And then Nova says, get wrecked. And then regarding to SP, well, the cheaper the skills, the more you can get. So more SP and 40% off. You can get as much. That is true. I mean, but how many total skill points do you get for like a really good run, though? Although I feel like you may just still get around the same amount, like in the 4,000. So, Then I was gonna say lastly, but for some odd reason, this pretty much happens only with Eugen's comments. But the funny part is, this has a 2-hour gap. For some odd reason, I see 2 of the same comments, but has a 2-hour gap between them. So I don't know if... Oh, wait, no. I think Eugen just said the same thing twice, except this time he added or changed it up just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm still gonna like and heart it, but thank you, Eugen, for all the comments. Appreciate it as always. And lastly is a comment from Tanoki. The huge parish and not the flats because larger hitbox, for real, for real. This out of context response. This out of context response from Tanoki sounds hilarious. Well, out of context for him. From him. For those, well, I mean, I feel like you should know what this is about because it was a whole like petite and huge assets conversation we had between or about our topic about with Eugen and Nova. And then absolutely no context of what Nova and Shusu are talking about, but this is the thing that popped into my head. Well, if you remember the petite huge assets topic from a couple videos ago, there you go. That's literally the same context right there. That's literally the same context. But with that being said, that is going to be the last of the comments. So thank you, Tanoki, Eugen, Nova, and Rick for all the comments. Appreciate it as always. And with that being said, that is going to be the end of this video. If you guys didn't make it this far, I do want to say thank you. If you guys can, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. Let me know if you guys will pull for the banner. Obviously, I feel like most people will not, unless they actually seem pretty good. I mean, Ramino can be used on both medium and mild distance. Her skills doesn't really take away. Her skills are pretty much usable for both medium and mild distance. While Cesario just seems more towards medium distance, but you can use it for mild distance if you can't support her through your support cards, because you most likely won't be using her most of her skills because some of them are medium distance. But yeah, just let me know how you guys feel about the banner. I feel like most of us will most likely skip, mainly because this is mild sense of focus for the most part. And I feel like when it comes down to the Uma side of things, I feel like we're a little bit more picky. Well, probably not as picky as some others, but at least for myself. But if there's anything else you guys do want to talk about or ask me, just leave it down in the comment section down below. As long as it's appropriate, I'll go over it. And if you guys haven't joined the Discord server, oh, link is also, before I move on with that, also leave down in the comments what you guys have planned for the weekend and all that. But if you guys haven't joined the Discord server, link is down in the description down below. There's a channel called Circle Request for those who haven't joined the circle or are looking for a circle to join. Y'all are free to join the circle that I am in. It is called Shushu. Once you give that a search, hit request join. It'll let me know that you want to join the circle. And then after that, head over to the comment section or to the circle request channel. Let me know that you sent the request along with your in-game name just so I can make sure to add you into the circle and not somebody else. But with that being said, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Hope y'all have a good weekend. And with that being said, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.